Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome to the last episode of We Need to Talk for season 1. Yeah, we made it. I'm your host, Malynda, and I'm joined by my co-host, Karmel.
What up, people?
We're 20 episodes in. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed the conversations that we've had over the last couple months. We're going to be taking a couple weeks off after today, and then we're going to come back with some really great topics. We're going to be adding some live video. Got a lot going on, so make sure you are following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and make sure you've subscribed on YouTube, on iTunes Podcast, on Spotify. You guys know the deal.
Get in.
Just make sure you connect with us. So for our last episode for this season, I wanted to do something a little different because we got the comment that, you guys always talk about things that are so serious. It's like, yeah, because we need to talk about them. But we need to talk about some other things too. So I told Karmel, I don't know if any of you follow me on YouTube, but I used to do this segment on my YouTube called Things I Hate Right Now. And I was just talking about pet peeves. But today we want to talk about things that we hate right now, but also some of our guilty pleasures. Just once so you guys can get to know us a little bit more beyond our views in politics and culture and entertainment. And just because we want to end on a happy note, because we have been very serious this whole season.
It's been a rough season.
It has.
It's not our fault, though.
It's not. It's the country and the world that we live in. So we've had a lot to talk about, but we're going to end with some fun things. So we need to talk about a couple of things that really get under my skin. And one of the ones that I hate is group dinners.
Group dinners?
I cannot stand. No, we need to talk about this. I can't stand group dinners, and this is the reason being. I am a vegan who doesn't drink. There is no way that I think it should be split evenly if all I got was water and a salad. And y'all ordering all kinds of alcohol. You're ordering meat left and right. All these appetizers. Yeah. The bill comes, and it's like, oh, well, everybody just split it evenly. No. Mine was $10, and I'm going to give $15 because I'm going to tip, and that's it. I cannot stand group dinners. I can't stand when everybody has a card, nobody ever has cash, and you think that everybody has to split the bill evenly when one person was being a glutton and another person wasn't eating anything.
Wow. I get the group dinner annoyance because of the cars and all that, but I never thought about it from the vegan non-drinking aspect. So I don't drink either, and I'm like pseudo-fake vegan, as you know. But if you just got a salad and some water, that's interesting. So then what do you still just, do you stand up and say, no, I'm not paying that? Or like,
I put down my cash and then I leave, and that's the end of the conversation.
Wow.
But like when you've gone to group dinners, is there an expectation that everybody just splits it evenly?
Yeah, for the most part. I think like I've not been in a situation where someone said, oh, I only did this. I think people just put in normally what they think they ate or what makes sense because it's just to keep the night light, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, if you're the lone vegan non-drinker in the group, that's different. I get that.
I mean, if it's a birthday for a friend, I'll obviously give more to help pay for their meal. But in general, I don't get down like that. Yeah,
so like if you got the salad and the water, and another dude here got the steak and the baked potato.
And a bottle of wine.
And a bottle of wine, yeah. And he's still putting in 20 and you putting in, I get that. I get that. Okay.
And I'm also paying for you guys to live a lifestyle that I don't agree with. Can we talk about that? I'm paying for y'all to eat dead animal that I don't agree with. Wow. I'm actually not that kind of vegan.
So I don't care what you do. But how often do you go on group dinners where you're the lone vegan?
Oh, I stopped that long time ago.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because I was getting annoyed by it. And my husband don't like going on group dinners either because he doesn't eat red meat. He'll do like, fish and chicken on occasion. But sometimes he's vegetarian vegan when he goes out. And he'll drink or whatever, but it's always one of those situations just like, I didn't get as much as this person next to me. This person was ordering everything on the menu because they are under the assumption that everybody's going to split it evenly. And I just don't think that's cool. I think you pay for what you order.
That's crazy. I don't think I've been in that situation where one person ordered a lot of food and didn't just pay for what they ordered. Like,
people are selfish.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
So my first major pet peeve is in that same vein of eating out. I can't stand Korean barbecue.
See, so what happens in Korean barbecue?
It's the stupidest thing ever. I mean, okay, the food itself is okay. It's good. But I am paying to cook. I do not.
So it's not even like a it's not like situation?
No, it's not teppan or it's not like sushi guys making it for me. They bring you the food, turn on your stove, and you get to cooking. Right. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm paying $20 to come in here and slave over a barbecue. It makes no sense. The last time I went, I didn't touch anything other than my plate.
That is
I
so
was not
funny.
cooking anything. I'm
Wait,
like,
so what is it? Obviously, because they don't have any vegan stuff, I'm assuming that's why I've never been. So what's involved with Korean barbecue? Like, what do they bring you?
okay, so like you have this big circular like pan looking barbecue thing, and they set a bunch of side dishes around it, small things like cabbage, some onions or whatever, and then they ask you like for 3 meats.
Okay.
So you can get like some kind of barbecue pork, you can get like chicken or shrimp or whatever, and they bring you out 3 plates, and you just dump it on this thing, and you just move it around and pick it up, and as it cooks, you give each person their little piece.
How do you know that it cooks? Like, what if somebody don't know how to cook?
So that's another thing. You have to find someone who actually knows how to cook, and usually I feel like that's me because you can't cook, you can't mess up chicken. Like you have got to cook that right.
Okay.
And then or pork or whatever it is. So like I usually would just step up and do it because I don't want to get E. coli or salmonella. The last time we went, my other buddy, he knew how to cook, so he cooked it. But then my other buddy, who's actually a very hypochondriac about chicken, watched him the whole time cook it. So they're both fighting over cooking it. So I'm cool. I'm like, whatever, I'm fine. But yeah, that's another thing. You got to find a person who can cook, who knows what they're doing, who doesn't burn it or undercook it. And like, we paid for this. I paid to come cook. I'm like, there's no way. And people love it. Every Korean was Jen is like packed.
Really?
All the time. Everyone I've been to, 45-minute wait. I'm like, all these people are waiting to cook
their own food. They can just do it at home. You know, it's so funny. I don't know if you saw this. It was on Reddit or it was on Facebook or whatever, but I think it was a Korean barbecue when they brought out the chicken because everything's raw, right? Mm-hmm. And the chicken moved, like its tendons.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I was like, no. Yeah. First of all, why is its tendons still moving? That means you like killed and defeathered this chicken back in the kitchen
like
because it
ago.
Is fresh.
Yeah.
Because the fact that it was still moving, because when animals and humans die, there's still a amount of like activity that still happens within the body. Yeah. So that's clearly what was happening on that plate. And I was like, this is why I don't eat meat. This is exactly why I don't eat meat.
Yeah. Well, they said it's fresh, so I mean, you trust it. Okay, this is fresh.
So what they got a chicken coop back there?
Probably. I mean, that's
No. Well, so to go to my second one that we need to talk about, it kind of is in line with that you do yourself type stuff. Mm-hmm. I cannot stand self checkouts at the store.
That's an interesting.
I know, but this is the reason being. So one. You always end up having to talk to an associate anyway.
Oh, that's true.
Because something goes wrong.
Something goes wrong, yeah.
There's an error. You put it on the thing, and it's like, please put this back. This isn't the right weight. Da-da-da-da-da. So it's like, so then you got all these errors. Then you got to wait for the one person that's working all 12 of the self-checkouts, let's say at Target or at the grocery store or CVS, to come and help you. And then they got to do their code, and they got to slide their card. And it's I could have just been in line with you in the first place and sliding this. Like, I get the convenient. People think it's more convenient, but I actually think it's not as convenient. I really don't.
I agree with that. I think out of 5 times I go, 3 times I get the necessity to ask someone to come help me.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I get that.
You know?
I get that. And so it may be a little faster still, but the fact that someone has to come over does annoy me.
And it takes the whole point. Yeah. Because you know that people only go to self-checkout because they don't want to have to deal with
I don't want to see anybody. And the person that always comes over is like the one oldest person that works there, punches the button, the code 3 times, and then the card, and then it finally goes. It's never like a young person.
See, I've always had that young one that's like, clearly they had to get a job because they're in high school and their parents told them to, and they don't want to be bothered.
Oh, I never. Well, I never got now. It's always an old person with glasses. Like,
bless their heart. That is so funny.
Because I mean, they're not really doing anything. They're kind of just watching us, and then someone happens to like, okay, mess it up, they go and fix it. But then other thing I also don't get is the bag thing. I know the whole law.
Yes.
They got rid of bags. But I don't get what the reasoning was. Do you know why that happened?
I think it was to save plastic, to be honest.
But I can still get a bag.
Yeah, but
what's funny is
charged for it.
Every other store besides grocery stores still gives you bags.
Yeah.
And there's the counties. Like I was in, where was I at? And is it a California law? No, I was in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And they gave me a bag, and I felt like, wait, why are they giving me a bag? Like, I'm not in California. So I don't understand, like, is it really saving money or saving plastic?
I like the encouragement of bringing your own, canvas bag, your own tote bag your own groceries. But at that point, so it's like, I'm shopping for my food, I'm scanning my food, I'm bagging my food. Why are you even here?
Why are you here? And I've never brought bags.
I have.
I don't do it. I put them in my car. I'm like, okay, I got bags. I'll get ready. Right. I get out of the car. I get inside the store. Where's my bags? Every time.
I'd be curious to see what the research was, and I should look this up of like how bad like plastic bags have been for the environment and why we changed it. Because now a lot of grocery stores even just have paper bags, and they don't even have plastic bags anymore, or they're just like, we ain't got no bags, so you either carrying all these groceries or you bring your own bag.
And then like straws now. That's a new one, right? Straws are gone now, right?
I hate paper straws more than anything.
Paper
in the
straws
world.
Are stupid.
Because it's disintegrating basically in my mouth. It's like I rolled up literally a piece of paper and just decided to suck a beverage out of it. It tastes, I feel like I'm drinking paper.
Yeah. So I get the plastic straws was hurting the environment. Well, now the paper straws hurting me. So it's either one's wrong.
Can we go back? The metal straw though.
Metal straws?
Yeah, you haven't seen those?
They have metal straws?
Yeah, they have metal straws. I can get down with those. Those are fine.
Okay.
Those are fine. But the paper straws are so gross because they just get wet and wet and wet, and then it's just a soggy piece of paper that you're sucking this thing out of. Like if you go to Starbucks or Coffee Bean or whatever, they have paper straws now, and I'm like, this is just, I can't.
So a paper straw and like, it's paper.
Yeah.
So how is it supposed to survive through liquid? Like I don't get it. What was the point?
It doesn't. That is the point. That is why I have a problem with it.
Metal straws. Now they have like metal straws of like copper or something. That's like healthy, like iron.
Yeah, I don't know what they're made out of, but
okay.
There are metal straws. You can buy them on Amazon, and they're reusable, obviously. But yeah, the paper straw thing, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all.
So it's funny that we get on straws because that was unintentional. But my next one I hate has straws sort of incorporated. I hate boba.
Oh, okay.
I do not get the love of boba. Cora got up on that one. She don't like boba either. Like, it's like tapioca balls.
Yeah, I refuse to have it. I don't even know what it tastes like because it freaks me out that there's little black balls at the bottom.
Really,
of the drink. Like, it's just, I can't.
Sounds and looks disgusting. I've had it once. Soon as it goes through the straw, it's like sucking a loogie through your nose, but now I'm bringing it the other way. Like I'm intentionally drinking a snot rocket, and then there's a nice, like rubbery package around it, and I'm going to explode.
Wait,
it's disgusting.
So what is it? Like, what does it taste like? I will never try it because the thought of it. I'm really a textural person, and it freaks me out. But what is it?
If you got texture issues, don't bother.
What is it? What does it taste like? Is
it's
there
tapioca.
Flavor? So
it's supposed to taste like tapioca. All I taste is the rubber or whatever. It's the gelatin that encapsulates this thing and then just explodes. I'm like, what was the point of this? Who thought this was good?
I don't understand the point of it because is it supposed to enhance the drink? Does it add extra flavor? Like what is?
I honestly feel like it's just someone dropped some probably in a shake once. Thought, well, shoot, I'm not gonna scoop these out. Let me just get a straw and suck them out. And thought, oh, this is kind of cool. It's not. It's not cool at all. It's freaking weird. But then someone came up with it, and people are doing it. People love boba.
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge thing. I mean, they have boba tea places specifically dedicated to boba. A whole
place to suck balls out of a drink. Are we really doing this, people? Like, what are we thinking?
I mean, it's a thing. I don't even know when it became like a huge like trend.
It's like if you put seeds in the bottom of a salad and just suck the seeds out of the salad with a straw. No one's doing that.
But people put seeds in their salad.
But you eat it with the salad.
Like, but I guess there'd be no other place for a tapioca ball. I mean, there shouldn't be a place for
tapioca balls should not exist at all. It doesn't even make any sense. First of all, I don't even like tapioca that much.
Yeah, I can't.
Now, if it was like banana pudding or something like that in the bottom of a shake, maybe. But why does it have to be in a gelatin ball?
It freaks me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Can you just put the pudding at the bottom of the shake, and I'll just drink the shake?
See, even that though, it's like no, I just.
It's like parfaits and all that, right? Like it's like layers of dessert,
trifles and stuff. Yeah, but
I don't like that. I don't like.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Good.
I've never had boba, but I've never tried it for that reason because it freaks me out.
Good. Yeah. Don't bother.
Moving on to something else that a lot of people think is cool and makes a difference, and I completely disagree with. And it's going to sound very odd coming from me being such a social justice warrior as I am and someone who stands up for everything. I cannot for the life of me, and I literally just performed it at one of these yesterday, but I don't understand marches. We need to talk about the point of marches and boycotts and all that stuff. I do not get it. Now look, if that's your thing and if it makes you feel like you're doing something, more power to you. I think it's great. I don't think it brings awareness to anything. I don't think that it changes anybody's mind. I don't think that, for example, I performed at Animal Rights March. I've been vegan for 13 years, and I've actually gotten, no, I wouldn't say I've turned people vegan, but I've definitely gotten people interested in the vegan lifestyle. They've asked me questions, and I always start with like, hey, there's just some really good vegan food out there. Later, you can find out there are really horrible conditions that these animals are in, and you also don't need to have dairy. You just don't need it. So there's a process, for me at least, when I try to expose people to what a plant-based lifestyle means and what animal rights is and things like that. But marching about it, I don't get, because all you doing is it's an echo chamber. You're marching with people that already agree and think the way that you do. And that's how I feel about marches in general. When we have the Women's March, when we have the Pride March, when we have, all these other marches, I'm just like, who's watching?
Out there? You're all going for the same reason.
The people's minds that you need to change are not there.
They don't want to go.
Or hear it.
They don't want to hear it. So you all, 100,000, you go out there to talk about the same thing.
Well, you're talking to each other.
You're talking to each other. Like, okay. It's like, well, we agree, right? We agree. Yeah, all right. Now you go home. Like, I don't get it.
That part. And then you just go home.
You just go home.
It's like, is there a call to action? Are we doing something? Like, I'm very much, I'm all for writing letters to your senators. I'm all for, raising funds for, doing petitions even. Because maybe, like, for a petition, like, let's say you go through change.org and do a petition and then send that. It's like, hey, this many people in your district or your city or your county don't want this to happen. And to me, that can say something to like a representative like, oh, I didn't know that they even cared about this.
Right.
But marching around the streets of downtown LA, ain't nobody paying attention to you.
No one cares. No one cares. And I remember the Million Man March, and that was a great show of solidarity.
Yeah.
I still don't know what we accomplished. Like, brothers, I get we did it. We was there. But like, what did we do?
Well, what was the point of the Million Man March?
Right now, I don't know. I know it's a bunch of brothers got together. We went down to D.C.
Yep.
I forget what the climate was at the time, but I just know, and I don't even think it was a million, but we had a lot of brothers out there marching.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, great. But now, like you said, if there was a petition, if there was something out there where we all signed it something tangible,
yeah.
And then submitted that, like, wow, X amount of people came out and supported this, and something we didn't know about. Like, oh man, I didn't, like you said, I wasn't aware this existed, this feeling or sentiment towards this issue. Okay, now let's address it. Just to go out there, like, I don't okay, we're black and we're men. Cool. Like, what? It didn't do anything to me. Now, I know we talked earlier about this, the march, with Martin Luther King and all that. That was one time where that worked. And I almost feel like that precedent is kind of handicapped us. Like, we saw that work, so now that's our go-to. Let's march because this one thing happened back in the 60s that was effective. But I'm like, okay, it's almost like Kaepernick kneeling now.
Yeah.
He did it. He brought awareness. He's not kneeling anymore.
Yeah.
He's moved on. He's got several foundations. He's out there making a difference. He's doing stuff. Now cats are still kneeling. I mean, no one cares anymore. Like, it's not.
See, and I like that you said that, because that was the thing with Kaepernick that I feel like people don't realize is, like, he made awareness and then he actually did his call to action.
Yes.
He put his awareness to action. Like, he did the work.
Right.
He was like, I'm drawing attention to this because this is an issue, and now I'm going to go do the work to fix it.
And then now watch me as I do this.
Right.
Now he kept the spotlight on himself with Know Your Rights organization, all his foundations. People saw, man, this cat's he donated actually $1 million to these things. That happened versus I'm just going to kneel and go home. That's the thing. People do stuff and go home. Like, there's no kind of follow through with any of these marches. I've never seen something happen. Like you just said, we're all on the same page. We all agree, right? Yeah, okay, cool.
I'm all for meetings. I love meetings.
Sure.
You come up with ideas. You figure out, okay, what are we going to do? Kind of get on the ground, sort of like grassroots kind of campaigning to figure things out. But just marching and yelling, I don't know.
Like, I remember I used to go to church a lot. We'd always have these harvest crusades. And there's a bunch of Christians go to a, Angel Stadium, and we, sing a bunch of songs and get all riled up. And then, like, you're supposed to bring an unsafe friend. Okay, so I get that. So there's like some kind of huge gathering where you bring someone who doesn't agree or get it or wants to understand more. Okay, now they kind of see it and experience it. But other than that, so if you had this rally for, vegans, animal rights, and you brought someone who just likes to eat meat all day, maybe they would have, oh, wow, you guys are serious about this. And they would have got something. But you don't do that.
Right.
You just go. And I feel like a lot of these marches are self-serving. I think people do these things, they boycott, so it shows like I'm doing something. I feel better because I went out and did this. Yet you didn't really do anything,
right?
But you feel better about what you're doing. I know one of the big ones right now in our community, as I talk about Kaepernick, is black folks not watching the NFL, and I guess I can put this on my list as well. I don't get that. I don't support not watching the NFL. I don't give it my money anyway, but I still watch. I love football. Football's. I mean, I probably watch too much football. I'll be honest with you. It's bad. But now guys saying, well, because what happened with Kaepernick and these other guys, I'm not gonna watch. Kaepernick's boycott was not against the NFL.
No.
It was against police brutality.
It wasn't even against the flag or the national anthem.
Nothing, right.
People,
it was one specific thing, police brutality and injustice in our court systems. That was it. Matter of fact, he's still trying to get into the NFL that black people are boycotting, which is weird. His best friend, Eric Reed, got re-signed to the Panthers and is still kneeling and still in support of Kaepernick. So he's in the NFL. So I'm not going to watch the thing these guys are a part of, I want to be a part of because I think their boycott was against. It's like you're so off. Like you don't get it. Plus, the NFL is making millionaires of black guys. They're creating generational wealth, ending generational curses for lots of your people.
Yeah.
So you're not supporting them now.
Right.
Like I don't get. I understand what you're thinking, but it's so off and so convoluted that you're as bad as the people who you think you're boycotting. Yeah. Because you're missing the point. So people who get mad at Kaepernick for what he's doing, and you're boycotting the NFL for what you think they're doing, everyone's missing it. It's like you guys are all off.
It's a fair point. Yep.
So like I get you don't want to watch what you're thinking, but you're actually doing a disservice. You're actually taking money out of guys who are trying to make money for their families and support them and do what they need to do to get their family out of the destitute and the poverty that they're in, and now you're not watching. So I don't get that. So that's another one, Mike. Add that to the list.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I hear you. So now we want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about our guilty pleasures. Just things that we love, even though we know they're probably not great.
A little weird.
One of my favorite, I love watching bad TV shows.
Oh, yes. 100%.
I mean, I just love it. And I know it's bad. The writing's bad. The casting's bad. The acting's bad. The editing's bad. And I will sit there and just binge watch it.
Oh, yes.
Because it gives me joy. And I love Lifetime movies.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
yes.
I don't know any. First of all, if you say you've never seen a Lifetime movie, you are lying.
Yeah,
because we all watch them, and we all watch Hallmark Christmas movies during Christmas time. That is just what we do, and they are guilty pleasures.
It feels right.
It does feel right. It doesn't feel like Christmas without a Hallmark movie.
And we get that as corny and sappy and sugary, but that's what the holidays is supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you ever watch any daytime soap opera?
Absolutely.
Really?
Passions and Days of Our Lives were my things.
Passions.
I still watch Passions to this day because the whole series is on YouTube. You're welcome.
Wow.
Yes, so I'll watch Passions sometimes when I'm working from home. Yeah, Passions was my shit.
Okay. All right. My brother got me into All My Children.
Oh my gosh. My mom watched that.
Was it Sunset Beach?
Oh my God, you're taking me back.
Sunset Beach.
Sunset Beach was on for 8 episodes, and they were like, "This is crap. We need to take this off the air."
It was horrible. Every dude wore the same pastel color shirt.
God,
I loved it. I loved it. Sunset Beach, All My Children. Yeah.
Yes. So, Sunset Beach and Passions and Days of Our Lives. Those were mine.
Passions. I forgot about that one.
Did you see Passions at all?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
That was the most ridiculous soap opera with all the supernatural and the witches and the demons and stuff, and I was just here for all of it.
My brother, who happened to have been just unemployed for forever, it was the reason why I got in a lot of these shows. I'm like, this is what you're doing? You're watching soaps? And I'm like, I kind of judged him for a minute. And the reason why I watched them because I worked at night. This was back when I was in college, and I'm like, I get it. Yeah. it's very. I don't know if it's entertaining because it's so bad.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's a train wreck. You can't look away.
Right.
It's entertaining and it's addicting.
So I always felt like politics was a lot like soap operas. It's literally the same thing. I could go away and come back. It's the same people, same stories. It's nothing ever changes. Absolutely. Literally, people stay and look exactly the same.
And one day lasts for 3 months on a soap opera.
I remember that. Specifically, someone was getting married. They were planning the wedding. I stopped watching, and then 3 months later, the wedding was just happening. I'm like, what the hell? This takes this long?
It takes that long in soap opera world. And that's why you can, and that's what's so funny. I mean, there is a specific format when it comes to soap operas, but like, I don't know if you've ever watched a couple days back to back. They repeat so many of the same dialogue so that if you did stop watching, you came back, you really don't miss anything because they keep you up to date with you reusing the dialogue and having the same scenes and having the same outfit, which is kind of funny because you can, go away for a month and come back and nothing's different.
Man, that's actually takes some talent to write that way. I wonder because that's a whole different format of writing. The beats and that whole, it's not like writing for sitcoms or anything else. Like, how do they write that?
Actually,
yeah,
to always have to write the same.
You got to go back and make it not sound exactly the same, but you kind of. Wow.
So what's one of your guilty pleasures, Karmel?
So I love taking pictures of abandoned chairs.
What does that even mean?
So any chair.
I need you to explain this.
So I was driving down the street one day and I would see like a sofa or a love seat or just a chair like sitting on a curb. And I'm like, it just struck me. And I just looked at this, like each chair just has some kind of character. It was just speaking to me. And you know what? I'm going to take a picture of this chair. So I started taking pictures and I actually have an Instagram page.
Are you serious?
Of abandoned chairs.
I'm going to have to look this up. That sounds like a coffee table book. Wait, what's the Instagram? I'm literally looking this up right now.
It's Chairing is Caring.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
Could you be any cornier?
It's so good.
Sharing is, oh my God, here we go. You guys, this fool has so many pictures on this Instagram.
Yes.
And these are just, oh my God, you are serious.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But what's going to happen now, people, is when you see a chair, you're going to see it and like, oh, I get it. You're going to think of me. Like, this chair is just, it's speaking to me. Like
you're getting all artistic with this.
Yes.
And this is crazy because in LA, I mean, you can leave your furniture out and someone will come pick it up, or you can call and get it to pick up. This is crazy how many people leave. I mean, you got love seats, you got everything. Dining room chairs, you got sofas,
bar stools,
you got like pool chairs. Wow, this is actually very interesting. This could be a coffee table book.
Yeah.
I really, and like,
I've never seen a
story of all of these chairs. Okay, I'm with it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. See,
I'm with it.
I every time I don't share this with a lot of people, but my friend told me today when I mentioned this the podcast and the topic, he said, "Oh, you got to mention your page." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't plan on it." He said, "No, you got to bring it up. You got to bring it up."
Little hobby. But you know what would be even cooler, which you're not going to do, but is if you picked all these chairs up and then like reupholstered them.
Wow.
But that would take a lot of time.
That would be a lot.
That would actually be like your day.
What's actually interesting, it's not easy to take pictures of these chairs because one, I look like a weirdo. And two, I'm driving, right? And so I see the chair and I have to make a split decision. Do I pull over and get this chair as I'm in freaking traffic?
Yeah.
So sometimes I've gotten into trouble trying to get a picture of some of these chairs. My daughters now also send me pictures.
Oh my gosh!
I've got a couple other people I've told because I'm not open to share with everyone yet. But if you guys get pictures, go ahead and send them to me. I might post them.
I love it.
But yeah, it's interesting when you start seeing like, oh, okay, I see it now. Because like 9 times out of 10, you just drive past a chair just sitting there. But now when you stop and actually see one or two, you're like, wow, some of them are really charming.
Yeah.
Some have like some story behind it. And I'll often sit and think, what did this chair go through? Who sat in this chair? Where did it come from? What grandma had this chair for 20 years covered in plastic and now just got rid of it?
I like have all these ideas now, like being sparked in my mind. Like I could see this as like a television show almost. Like
okay.
But like, I mean, when you just said all that, just like a chair, like how many people have sat in it? What the story is it? How many conversations has that chair heard? Like I'm getting all deep and existential about this, but that's interesting.
See?
That's a unique hobby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get in on that, people.
I'm with it. Okay, one of my other guilty pleasures, y'all gonna judge me, I really don't care, but it kind of goes along with my hating bad TV shows. I love young adult novels.
Wow.
Like the teen section in the bookstore.
Young adult novels?
I'm so embarrassed to even say it. Oh my God, I love that stuff. It is ridiculous. I just love like high school drama.
So like you actually read these?
100%.
Wow.
I know. I go to the young adult section in Barnes and Noble and I try to find like a love story or like some thriller or some novel about like high school angst drama. Oh my God, I love that stuff.
And John, you support this? You okay with this? This is nuts.
I know. He's like, can you read something like real? And I'm like, this is real.
Wow. So like, what's the last one you read?
Right now, I'm currently reading, which goes into my bad TV shows. You, the book from the series You on Netflix, and the book itself is so good. I love it. It's crazy.
Wow.
But then I read the one I finished before this was called. Oh my God, what was it called? Now I'm forgetting. But it was about 5 kids that were in detention, and one kid died, and you're trying to figure out how he died.
Wait.
And then you're learning about all of these kids' different characters, and I was like, oh my God, this totally needs to be a Netflix movie.
A kid died in detention?
He died in detention. It was amazing. But I couldn't put the book down.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Pretty Little Liars, like all that stuff. That's all me. I love it.
Wow.
Judge me, I don't care. Come at me. Everybody has their thing. Okay?
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's commitment to read a bad book.
I love it, but it's not even that. It's still entertaining, and it's just so dramatic because it's like, oh my gosh, because when you were in high school, everything was the end of the world.
Yeah,
okay?
True. Yeah,
everything was the end of the world.
Right.
Everything was dramatic, whatever. But reading it in book form is so entertaining. I love it.
Did you watch? So I haven't watched any of the Twilights.
Oh, I watched and read all of them.
Oh my God.
Watched and read all of them.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
Now, see, I can understand that
my life.
because that was a huge phenomenon, but you kept it going.
I did.
Wow.
And I found other phenomenons, and I'm going to be on that train when they become phenomenons again.
Wow. Yeah, I can't. I mean, there's things I'll watch a bad show, but a book, that's a lot. That's hours.
I love it. Sometimes you just need to escape into like a fake, ridiculous world. And I get you can do that with a television show or a movie, but sometimes I like to read.
Like wrestling. Like people watch wrestling. I
could never watch wrestling.
But you read a book.
Yes. Because at least I'm like taking in some form of vocabulary. Wrestling, what are you taking in?
I can't. I haven't done wrestling since I was 12.
Good.
There's adult men who still watch wrestling.
Of course there are.
I don't get it.
Of course there are.
I don't. Like now, so I have one TV show back in the day that if it's on, I will still watch it. It's called Small Wonder.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, of course.
Oh my God, Vicky! I had a crush on Vicky.
No, you did.
I did.
No, you did.
I don't know why. It was the weirdest show. I don't know if I was around when it first came out. No, I think I saw it as a kid in reruns. But that show was so corny.
Yep.
But it just was charming to me. I love watching that. And there was another similar show that was just so bad that it was great. And then people were looking like, Small Wonder? I'm like, yeah, Vicky and Jerry. Was it Jamie? I think the boy was named Jamie. So, yeah. Oh my God. If it's on right now, I'll watch it.
I wonder why there haven't been reruns of that, because I know they've brought back a lot of old shows like just, paying syndication, but I've never seen that one.
See?
It's not on Hulu, it's not on Netflix anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. I've not seen it anywhere. Now that we're in this new age of, on TV on demand and apps and stuff, I don't know that it will come back. I don't know how, unless someone buys the rights to it and puts it on something.
Is that the show that you would want to come back?
Oh, yeah. Easy. That and what was a show where the chick was an alien? She would put her fingers together.
Yes. It was on Nick, wasn't it?
Was it? All I remember is the song. Like her dad was an astronaut or something like that.
Oh my God, I'm picturing what you're talking about, but I can't.
Would you like to swing on a star?
Yes.
Every moonbeam calling a jar. I don't know. What was the name of that show?
If y'all know, you're going to have to message us and let us know. I cannot think of this. Out of This World.
Out of This World.
There we go.
Yes.
Woo, yes.
Out of This World.
See, I watched too much TV. Out of This World.
Out of This World and Small Wonder. Yeah. To rap.
Those were really good shows.
No, they weren't.
They were. They were good shows. And I don't mean good in that sense.
They were very entertaining.
Good in the sense of like I watched them all the time.
I used to watch some weird shows when I was young. Like, you remember a show called Empty Nest?
No.
Okay, so it was a very old show. Like the main character was an old man. He had two very older daughters. I think they were in their 40s on the show, and he was like an older doctor. And I don't know why I watched this show. It was a white guy and two older white daughters.
I've never heard of it.
And it was on, I think it was a sitcom. And I'm like, this is not at all for my demographic. I think I was like 13-year-old black kid in Linwood. I'm like, why am I watching this show? But it was so entertaining to me.
Empty Nest?
Empty Nest. It was like Golden Girls, but it was a guy. Like an older guy at the Golden Girls age, and he had two daughters. I don't know what the show was about. I just remember I watched it all the time.
I also used to watch The Torkelsons.
I have never heard of that ever. Torkelsons? It's the worst name ever.
That was their name. That was their last name. It was the Torkelsons.
Torkelsons.
Torkelsons. Yep. I watched it on Disney Channel.
Wow.
There were a lot of shows. I mean, we had a lot of programming.
See, I remember we talking about this on an episode before. Even just shows like that, not outside of the black shows we used to have, but just shows like that were just like kind of silly, sugary, just stupid. Family friendly, easygoing. Like everything we have now is either so heavy or so dark or so just pushed Dexter to like, Stranger Things. Like we can't just have some simple fun.
I know.
Just relax.
Yeah, I miss the simple fun shows. We don't just have sitcoms anymore.
No.
We just don't have sitcoms. And
not
I think
at all.
that's a big loss. But I don't know why there's not a want for it or demand for it, because they're great.
Right. And it's also a way to bring in a lot of people who's not going to watch those things. Right. Like Friends is such an easy watching show. Yes. Like who's going to get mad at that? I don't like it because of this. Because another thing I think about shows is people get hyped up about a show and then like some people don't like it because it's so hyped. Or like, what's the last show that's hot right now? The Boys on Prime.
Oh yeah, we haven't started that yet. We're gonna watch it.
I've watched one episode. Wasn't my thing, but that's cool. But if you tell people it's not your thing, oh my God,
they crucify
people get so pissed off.
Yeah.
No one feels that way about sitcoms. I've never heard someone say, "Nah, I didn't like Martin." Like most people loved Martin.
Everybody likes Martin.
Everybody
likes Martin, Fresh Prince, Friends.
Right.
Like, yeah, your basic sitcom back in the day, everybody liked.
Everyone liked it, and if you didn't say you didn't like it. You just okay, cool, it's funny. But like, there's shows today, people, I just don't like that. I ain't watching that. So that's I think sitcoms would actually end a lot of strife in our country.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, because when we had sitcoms, look what was happening.
Wow.
It was an easier time.
It was much easier time. That's the problem.
And we had sitcoms for everybody.
Yes, exactly. Every race, every demographic. Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just need to go back to 1992 or something.
That was a good time. Music was great. TV was great.
Everything was great in the 90s.
Everything.
And it stopped. It stopped in 9/11. That's when it stopped. Oh no! Don't start with your conspiracy theory.
Well, it literally was. 2001.
Yeah,
so
it
did
stop.
Yeah, literally. Wow. Okay. I can't stop a conspiracy theory.
Dun dun dun. Something to think about. All right. Any last guilty pleasures?
Guilty pleasures.
Because I had my two that
you have two more?
No, I had the two that I had.
I have another thing I don't like. I don't think I don't like.
Okay, what's another thing you don't like?
I don't like camping.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I've been camping and I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy hiking. I love the scenery. Love going out. I do not get the end part. I don't like sleeping on the ground.
You got a glamp. That's why. Have you glamped?
I have not glamped. What is that?
It's glamorous camping.
I would. That sounds. I would do that.
So it's like you're not really on the floor. It's literally an apartment or like an Airbnb that's in a huge tent-looking thing, but it's like wood floors.
Oh yeah.
Showers in there.
Give me that.
It's like it's glamorous camping.
I'm all about
that.
See,
if you Google glamping, they'll show you glamping sites. Like John and I want to go camping, but we'll go glamping.
I will go glamping
because I can't do the whole like tent floor. Uncomfortable.
Again,
no shower.
I'm gonna go pay a campsite to go be homeless. That's what you're doing. I'm paying to go be homeless. It's the stupidest thing ever.
I mean, that's.
There's people outside these streets right here, right outside your house, who are putting tents underneath bridges. They're homeless. I'm now gonna go pay $35 a night for whatever campsite I rent out for this same experience. I'm gonna go be no. I'm good. Next time I go camping, Yosemite. I'm going to the hotel or glamping. That's what I'm not sleeping on the ground. I'm not. Last time I went camping, I didn't know what I was doing. We got there probably about 4:00. We're in the mountains, and you drop down into this valley. Well, there's no lights out there. So 4:00 hit, and I realized the sun was just now about to start setting.
Okay.
I didn't have a tent up, and I'd never put one up before.
Oh no.
So it took me 2 hours to get this tent up, and as soon as I get the last peg in, it went pitch black. That's when I said, never again.
Yeah.
I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
So no, I can't stand camping.
You got to be built for it. It's
look, I'm not built for camping.
I'm not built for camping.
Nope.
Okay, well, since we're gonna end on the thing that we hate right now, the last thing that I'm gonna say, there's two that I'm trying to decide with, but as much as I appreciate them doing their job, I can't stand sales associates sometimes in retail stores. If I need you, I will come get you.
Okay,
Until then,
oh,
leave me alone.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
I'm fine. I
Yeah.
don't need help. I'm good. I promise you. No, I don't need that. No, thank you. I know what I'm looking for. No, I'm just browsing. Stop asking me questions. Like, bless your heart. I get the protocol. I get you doing your job. But if I said no the first time, I don't need the 2-3 checkups like following.
Right. Yeah.
Then me, after a while, I'm like starting to go into my mind, like, is it because I'm black? Is it because, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
The second time I'm going, that's where I'm going. The first time is cool, nice and cordial. No,
Right.
I'm good. I got it. Thanks. And then the second time, okay, they're following me. I've been profiled. That's out the gate.
It's too much.
Yeah.
I get,
but I've never
nice,
think I've ever heard someone say, I hate sales associates.
Okay, I don't hate them, but like I hate them. Like I get you're doing your job. Let's just go do your job. Like go put something on the rack. Like if you welcome me and you go, do you need any help? And I say no, should be the end of the conversation. And if I need help, I will come find you because there are times when I may have a question. But until that question is posed, let me be.
I get it. And like if I'm in your store, I'm here to buy something.
Right.
I don't need you to try and sell me.
Because if you keep bothering me, I promise you I ain't gonna buy nothing.
I'm out. Yeah. That's actually a really good point. The more you bother me, the more likely I'm not gonna buy.
Right.
Okay. So, I'm with you on that.
So I'm sorry if you're a sales associate and you listen to our podcast. I do love you, but just let people shop.
Take some notes. Leave us alone. We'll come get you.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be back in a couple of weeks. We will post an official date of when we will be returning, but we're so grateful that you listened to the last 20 episodes. Woo! And make sure you follow us on all social media, subscribe, listen to old episodes. If you got any questions, hit us up, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Peace.
Bye. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at We Need to Talk the Podcast and Twitter at _We Need to Talk _.
And this episode of We Need to Talk is brought to you by Black Brew, the darkest, richest, boldest coffee anywhere.